For today's movie review, I'll be reviewing the 1973 film Godmonster of Indian Flats, a film directed by filmmaker and art sculptor Frederick Hobbs, who's known for directing other movies such as Alabama's Ghost, Roseland, and Tokara. And really not much is known about the Godmonster of Indian Flats, other than the fact that apparently the movie was remade as the 2006 film Black Sheep, but I'm not talking about Black Sheep, I'm talking about the Godmonster of Indian Flats. And so, is Godmonster of Indian Flats any good? As for the plot of Godmonster of the Indian Flats, while a local doctor and a few friends conduct research on a mutated sheep specimen in a town nearby, a racist mayor of a historical Wild West tourist town attempts to throw the efforts of a black man trying to buy real estate by attempting to lynch him. In terms of what I liked about the movie, I like the overall origin of the sheep monster, because unlike most monster movies, where it's either a creature created from radiation or some science experiment gone wrong, this one's more of a natural occurrence, since you had this sheep that got exposed to some phosphorus gases, which in return gave birth to this mutated sheep creature. It's a bit more refreshing than your usual radiation and or science experiment gone wrong kind of scenarios. And I do like the fact that here's a movie where we have a sheep monster in it. Beyond that, really, this movie's not that great. If anything, it's actually ridiculously terrible. Case in point, the movie feels like someone took 5 different movie scripts, put them into a blender, and made this movie. That's my overall feeling towards this movie. Also, for a movie called Godmonster of the Indian Flats, the portions focused on the actual sheep monster itself is literally 1/4 of the movie's plot, because the rest of the movie is more focused on the town trying to lynch the black guy more than, the part with the sheep monster. Actually, if anything, the plot revolving around the townspeople trying to lynch the black guy is the actual plot of the movie. Because anytime they cut to the sheep monster, it's going in an interesting direction for a bit, but then it cuts back to the other plot. Like, literally, the sheep monster is on the back burner of the whole movie, and the townspeople are just assholes. Like, I did not like any of these people. The video quality wasn't necessarily the best thing I've seen, and the actual monster itself, when it does show up, really doesn't do much. It is just a strange animal, which I don't mind. It's just the costume to it, not that good looking. And this movie has some really ridiculous plot points that are just really stupid. Like, the biggest plot point in this entire movie is the fact that there's a funeral held for a dog. Yeah, this takes up about 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. For my final verdict of Godmonster of Indian Flats, even though the movie has some ridiculous parts to it, I recommend skipping it because the subplot involving the mayor trying to lynch the black guy from buying real estate takes up way too much of the film's plot, to the point where I feel the Godmonster was more of an afterthought. And if you really want to watch a good movie about killer sheep, I recommend watching Black Sheep. It's the much better killer sheep movie than, well, the Godmonster of the Indian Flats. And before I give my final rating, what did everyone else have to say about Godmonster of Indian Flats? Looks like this movie got generally negative reception, and so for my final rating of Godmonster of Indian Flats, I give it a 1.5 out of 5. What's your favorite B movie from the 70s? And see you later.